Next at News 3 now at 5:30, the latest from the mass shootings in El Paso, Texas and Dayton, Ohio that left 29 people dead. And how F-35 jets coming to Madison could impact one East Side church. Plus, what the wife of one of the missing Wisconsin brothers is saying now about their disappearance.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5:30.
Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 5:30. I'm Amy Reed. We start tonight with the latest on mass shootings in El Paso, Texas and Dayton, Ohio, where at least 29 people are dead. It started yesterday afternoon in an El Paso shopping center where a gunman left 20 people dead and more than 24 injured. Then early this morning, a gunman wearing body armor opened fire in a popular nightlife district in Ohio, killing 9, including his own sister, and injuring 27 others before he was killed by police. Dayton Mayor Nan Whaley says that the shooting is the 250th mass shooting in the U.S. this year.
Look, as a mayor, this is a day that we all dread happening, and certainly what's very sad is I've gotten messages from cities across the country is that so many of us have gone through it. Today is the 250th mass shooting in America. It's sad that it's in the city of Dayton.
The deceased gunman in Dayton was identified as 24-year-old Ohio native Connor Betts. Sources say police were searching his home this morning. Prosecutors in El Paso say they'll seek the death penalty for 20-year-old Patrick Crucius. U.S. Attorney John Bash says they'll pursue a criminal investigation, hate crime investigation, and domestic terrorism charges. We'll have more on the response to the shootings later in our show. Let's check on your first solar forecast now with meteorologist Dana Fulton.
Overall, Amy, it's just been a very warm and humid day. Now we do have a few showers and thunderstorms starting to pop up this evening. Again, everybody not seeing rain, but some isolated areas certainly are, especially as we look into Rock County, just southwest of Janesville right now. No lightning coming up with those storms. But there are some showers, some heavier rainfall in spots coming on through. As far as temperatures are concerned, it's a little warm. We're at 82 in Madison, but 84 in Platteville and 86 in Mineral Point, with those dew points creeping into the low 70s around Mineral Point, in the upper 60s, though, for many other areas. Humid and warm tonight, and the chance for some very strong thunderstorms creeping in tomorrow. But we'll take a closer look at what's ahead for your work week in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Dana. More local news now. Madison's east side could see a significant noise increase if the U.S. Air Force decides to house F-35 jets at Truax Field. That's according to an environmental impact statement released earlier this week. Gabriela Becerra shares how an east side church could be affected.
The draft report uses points of interest to explain how that place and nearby residents will be affected by the noise if the next generation jets are housed at the base. One of the points of interest identified is Bashford United Methodist Church. I spent some time at their Sunday service this morning to see what the additional noise can mean for a place of worship. If it's Sunday morning, you'll find Pastor Amanda Stein in the worship center.
I feel very fortunate to serve a group of people who want to just bring greater love into the world.
Bashford United Methodist Church is celebrating 100 years in their neighborhood this fall.
It is definitely a place of peace, but I would also say maybe even more so a place of social justice and neighborhood interest and neighborhood life.
It's located only 10 minutes away from Dane County Regional Airport and Truax Field.
Almost every Sunday we hear a plane go by.
But Stein says it's not the military jets that are interrupting their worship.
You can even hear one go by right now.
Yeah, it seems kind of busy, maybe just because we're noticing it.
Rather, other types of airplanes.
You're trying to bring together the people to be all in one space in one moment, and then there's a small distraction like that. It can derail or certainly just distract a little bit.
And despite the distraction, it always passes.
If I'm speaking, I will often have to pause and just let it go by. Not all that unlike somebody coughing in the sanctuary or a baby crying.
Stein says she can't predict whether a potential noise increase from F-35 jets will cause problems in their sanctuary.
I guess it's hard to say until it happens to actually have a reaction, because I feel that sometimes we're overreactive, or too preemptive in having an opinion about something.
And with a diversity of opinions, Stein is hoping the community can still come together.
It's really difficult to say that there's one voice, and as the clergy person, I simply want to be able to hear those and try and mitigate or find conversation or compromise where we can.
Church members living nearby say the high levels of noise coming from the F-16 jets are more bothersome at home, rattling windows and making it hard to hear the TV. The environmental impact statement outlines how the noise levels could affect classroom speech, residential speech, and sleep disturbance in points of interest areas. We have a link to that on our website, channel3000.com.
Thanks, Gabby. In Madison, police are looking for a man in his early 20s after he was accused of robbing a pizza delivery driver at gunpoint early this morning. Police say the incident happened shortly after midnight on the 300 block of the North Broome Street. Officers say the suspect was with a group of 5 other men and 1 woman when he showed a gun and took cash from the Domino's delivery driver. The driver was not injured and reportedly didn't call police until he got back to his store. Anyone who has any information is asked to call Madison area Crime Stoppers. Officials are saying a motorcycle crash last night in Greene County was caused by a turkey vulture. Authorities say they were dispatched to the town of Decatur shortly before 7 o'clock yesterday. Officials say 40-year-old Beloit man Brian Bartels was driving westbound when a turkey flew into the road and hit him, causing him to lose control. Police say Bartels was wearing a helmet but still suffered injuries and was taken to the emergency room. The motorcycle was damaged and taken from the scene. The turkey vulture was found dead. The wife of one of 2 Wisconsin brothers who went missing in Missouri and are now presumed dead says their disappearance is horrifying. Lisa DeMel told the Kansas City Star that her husband and brother-in-law's disappearance is a nightmare that she'll have to live with for the rest of her life. Her husband, 35-year-old Nicholas DeMel, and his 24-year-old brother Justin were reported missing on July 21st. Garland Nelson is in jail without bail on charges of tampering with a rental truck the brothers used during their trip. Nelson is accused of driving the truck from a farm visited by the brothers during a business trip for their cattle operation in Wisconsin. Kids from the Infinity Martial Arts Studio in Fitchburg were kicking and picnicking for a good cause today. The annual Kicknick allows the students to come together and celebrate their team while also raising money for a nonprofit organization. Infinity Martial Arts owner Tyler Schaub says he tries to teach kids about selflessness and awareness, and working with Geo's Garden, a Middleton-based respite center for children with special needs, lets his kids see they can make a difference in their community.
It's been awesome being able to work with them and have these kids come out today and do these kicks and do the work, not for the reward of like a prize or for something as far as like recognition for them, but that idea that through this selfless act that they can make a difference in somebody else's life.
In the past, Infinity's Kicknicks have raised more than $75,000 for the American Family Children's Hospital. News 3 Now anchor Charlotte DeLesse is the founder of Geo's Garden, which serves many families and kids in the community. Yodelers, flag wavers, and musicians are celebrating Swiss Independence Day at Volkfest. The festival takes place in New Glarus, which is also known as America's Little Switzerland. Entertainers of all ages sung Swiss folklore and traditional Swiss music and dressed in dirndls and felt hats. Instruments like the accordion, alphorn, and taller schwingen or Swiss coin rolling accompanied the singers.
It's one of my favorite festivals in New Glarus. It's short, sweet. Everybody comes out, you see people that you haven't seen for a long time, and today everybody is Swiss.
Festival participants enjoyed brats, beer, and Die Landjäger as they listened to performers. Festival officials say the festival has happened for decades and doesn't plan on ending anytime soon. Still ahead on News 3 Now at 5:30, we'll take a closer look at the response from the president, 2020 presidential candidates, and the community in the wake of mass shootings in El Paso and Dayton. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is what we know so far about mass shootings yesterday and overnight in El Paso, Texas and Dayton, Ohio. 20 people were killed and more than 24 were injured at an El Paso shopping center. Prosecutors say they'll seek the death penalty for 21-year-old suspect Patrick Crucius. Early this morning, 9 more people were killed and more than 20 were injured in Dayton. The suspect, 24-year-old Connor Betts, was stopped and killed by officers just minutes after the shooting began. 2020 presidential candidates are taking aim at the president after the shootings. El Paso native and Democratic candidate Beto O'Rourke is calling President Trump a white nationalist after the shooting. In an interview with CNN's Jake Tapper, O'Rourke said Trump's racism encouraged violence like the mass shooting in El Paso.
Do you think President Trump is a white nationalist?
Yes, I do. Let's be very clear about what is causing this and who the president is. He is an open, avowed racist and is encouraging more racism in this country. And this is incredibly dangerous for the United States of America right now. All of us have a responsibility to stand up and be counted on this issue.
In a tweet yesterday, Trump called the El Paso shooting, quote, an act of cowardice and said there are no reasons or excuses that will ever justify killing people.
These are two incredible places. We love the people. Hate has no place in our country, and we're going to take care of it.
Some politicians, including Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown and Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, are calling on Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to bring the Senate back from its 6-week recess. But the sentiment among politicians and community leaders is that today should be seen as a sad day for the nation.
It's another sad day in our nation, that we see once again, time after time after time again, assault weapons being used on everyday citizens. It doesn't matter if it's in the daytime at Walmart and now in the early morning hours here in Dayton, Ohio.
President Trump is ordering flags at half-staff in remembrance of the 29 victims of the shooting. A proclamation released by the White House today says, quote, the nation shares in the pain and suffering of all those who were injured in these 2 senseless attacks. Texas Governor Greg Abbott, ordered that all flags in the state also be lowered to half-staff and remain lowered through Thursday. Also in Washington, hundreds of mothers and students in Washington demanding lawmakers to take action on gun violence. The group Moms Demand Action met yesterday in the hours after the shooting in El Paso. They held signs and chanted as they walked from the White House to the U.S. Capitol. The group is a grassroots movement of Americans that says, quote, if our lawmakers won't act, make no mistake, we will replace them with those who will. And lastly, the father of a Parkland, Florida mass shooting victim is putting a mural together in El Paso at Las Americas Immigrant Advocacy Center. The artist is Manuel Oliver. He lost his 17-year-old son on February 14, 2018, when a gunman killed 17 with a semi-automatic rifle at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Oliver and his wife are traveling the world, urging people to change the nation's gun laws. Today would have been his son's 19th birthday. Still ahead tonight, storm chances for Monday. An alert day is now in the forecast. Meteorologist Dana Fulton is back after this.
At Bob.
quite warm today.
Yes, a little toasty outside, a little muggy also, and right now we're looking at some isolated showers, some thunderstorms passing on through. Not nearly as strong, though, as what we'll be dealing with tomorrow afternoon. That's why the alert day is for Monday. Right now, though, those isolated showers favored around Camp Douglas. Currently, we're seeing some heavier rain in spots. Also, in Rock County, just south of Janesville, we have some isolated showers this evening. And these showers are going to continue to just pop up over the next few hours. Again, no real severe potential for us today, as we do have a warm front kind of stalled just to the northeast or slicing through the Green Bay area. This cold front off to the west, that's what's going to bring the stronger storm sliding in for your Monday evening. It moves through very quickly, drops our humidity for the middle of the week, but it is going to bring some stronger showers and thunderstorms later in the day. Right now, that high pressure to the south is sending some southern flow in our direction, and that's warmer air coming on in. We're at 82 right now in Madison, but 90 in La Crosse, 85 in Dubuque, and 78 in Milwaukee. It is warm outside, but our dew points are very high. That's the other half of the story. Not only is it toasty, it just feels muggy. Our dew points are actually just a little higher than where we were at this time yesterday. So we see that cold front starting to approach in the morning. Storms to the northwest corner of the state early in the day, and then late in the afternoon and evening. That's when we have the heaviest showers come in for us. The problem, of course, that's during the heat of the day, so we may have some severe thunderstorms pop on up. We'll be keeping a close eye as that line does come through in the afternoon. For Tuesday, no threat for any rain. It should be pretty calm and feel a little better outside for Tuesday. A slight risk for severe weather stretching from Green Bay down towards Platteville. That really lines up with where the cold front will be moving during the heat of the day in the afternoon and early evening. The concern, of course, some strong wind gusts, maybe even some hail at times. Overnight, we won't drop too much. It's so warm outside. We'll be in the upper 60s for our overnight lows. Tomorrow morning, it'll be mild early. We'll get sun early in the day, and then the clouds build in the afternoon. Temperatures in the mid 80s for afternoon highs, and then those heavy showers build in late in the afternoon, again right around your evening commute, and then we'll have a few lingering storms into the evening. For Tuesday, though, things not looking too bad outside in the afternoon. Because the severe storms pop up in the late afternoon and for that commute during the busiest times that we see on the roads, we do have an alert day in the forecast now for Monday. Severe thunderstorms certainly possible, and the possibility to see some very strong wind gusts and some isolated hail threats. Overnight, our temperatures only dropping to the upper 60s. Will steadily become partly cloudy by the morning, but still very mild outside. Tomorrow, when it's not stormy in the afternoon, it'll be partly sunny, very humid with those storms popping in later in the day. The good news behind this cold front, our temperatures will drop back closer to average. And again, it's not going to be as muggy outside for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. A slight storm chance building back in for Wednesday and Thursday, and then heading into next weekend, things actually look pretty pleasant outside. The following week will bring some more shower and storm chances with another system sliding on through. But we're keeping a close eye on the radar late in the afternoon and the evening tomorrow with that cold front coming in. Timing is really going to be key with this one, Amy, because if it starts to come in when our temperatures are in the mid to upper 80s, we could be dealing with some very strong storms.
Good to know. Thank you so much, Dana. Coming up in sports, the Brewers try to avoid a sweep at Wrigley. Kevin's highlights are on deck.
Final day of the all-city swim meet at the West Side Swim Club. The definition of organizing chaos and showcasing some of the best athletes in the city. Sunday fun day in the pool where there is no downtime between heats. And if you don't like underwater cam, we can't be friends. Ladies, 15 to 19, breaststroke finals. Third from the top in lane 3, Kiera Bisson from Ridgewood wins by daylight, 1:14.16. The men's side, 15 to 19, butterfly, Wesley Jekyll. Check him for Gills from Seminole. Also in lane 3, 54.96. Ridgewood right now holds the current overall team lead over Middleton and Seminole. Results on News 3 Now at 10 o'clock. The Brewers trying to hang around in the NL Central with the Cubs and Cardinals. Now they have to win, of course. The Crew in danger of getting swept out of Wrigley and falling 4 games back in the division. Top of the first, Christian Yelich can hit for power. Major league leading 37th homer, and the Brewers have a 1-0 lead. It would not last. Flash forward to the 5th, Kyle Schwarber loses 1. That makes it 4-1 for the home team, and they would pile on. David Bodie, opposite field. RBI knock, Cubs win 7-2. The Brewers have lost 6 of 7. 4 practices into camp, and the common refrain among Badger football players is getting back to playing Wisconsin football. Having a 7-5 season that included losing the Axe to Minnesota didn't qualify. Head coach Paul Chryst said he believed it was a blip on the radar, but they know what they have to do to make sure it doesn't happen again. And the players will have written their own definition of what Wisconsin football is.
We have a motto, it's smart, tough, and dependable, and we got to be that all the time. And you know, we strive for greatness, and we want to be great, and we have to do little details because that's what it comes down to.
You're going to feel it when you play Wisconsin. You know, like the next week, you're going to be hurting. And then you're going to be spreading this to the other Big Ten teams, or you're going to be going back to your school and telling everybody about how physical Wisconsin was, how smart they were. All these penalties that we've had or getting out of position is not Wisconsin football, so that's what getting back to Wisconsin football is.
The Packers open their joint practices with the Texans tomorrow morning at 10:15, so they took it easy today. Not a full pads practice, but head coach Matt LaFleur liked the crispness of the workout after having Saturday off. He's looking forward to playing somebody else for a couple days.
Just the competition, seeing some new players. I've got a lot of history with going against that defense and that offense, for that matter. I just think it's going to bring out the best in both teams, and I know it's going to be a good challenge for our guys.
Jordy Nelson's going to end it where it all started. The team announced a news conference for Tuesday when Nelson will come back to Green Bay so he can officially retire as a Packer. He told the team today. He's third on the Packers career list with 550 catches, second in touchdowns with 69. Now, with 65 touchdowns from Aaron Rodgers, the most of any duo in Green Bay history. He spent the first 10 years of his career with the Packers before playing for the Raiders last season. He's got small children in school, he's got a farm, and Jordy said, I want to be a football fan, go to some high school games in Kansas. Every day is Saturday. It's not a bad gig.
No, that sounds nice. I wish that maybe I had taken some different choices in my childhood.
Get some money, have a great career, and then a normal life for a while, yeah.
Thanks so much, Kevin.
Okay.
We'll be right back. Tonight on Fox 47, infectious disease specialists are calling for stronger measures to detect and prevent a highly contagious fungal infection. We'll tell you why it's so dangerous for hospitals and nursing homes and how some are working to stop it. But what can we look for as we're planning our day tomorrow weather-wise?
Getting ahead to the work week, we've got a little bit of a road bump to get through for your Monday. There's an alert day in the forecast that it's going to be warm and humid all day, and then a cold front sweeps through in the afternoon, and that's going to bring the chance for some strong thunderstorms later in the day.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you back here later.